The member for Denison.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, I met recently with Darryl Gangel, who's now lost his part pension and must live on just $26,000 a year from his superannuation. This is barely above the poverty line. I've also met with defined benefit superannuants who have also had their pensions slashed and are also struggling. Prime Minister, the government is doing no better with aged care, despite my repeated representations, and in particular it's gutted funding for residential care to the tune of $1.2 billion. Prime Minister, what will you do to end this ruthless campaign against older Australians?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for his question. Every government has a solemn duty to care for our elderly. It's a duty, a responsibility that we take very seriously and always have done. We're spending $45 billion this financial year supporting aged pensioners, as we should. In 2015, the government made difficult decisions in regards to the aged pensions. You know, they were legislated in June 2015. They were decisions made in the national interest to protect both current and future generations of Australians, to make sure the pension is both available and sustainable. Now, in 2007, when the government was banking surpluses and had billions of dollars in the bank, the asset test was made more generous. That decision was changed, as I said, around 18 months ago, in the middle of 2015. Times had changed and we had to live within our means, and that was the tough decision that was taken by the government, by the coalition government. And it was supported by the Labor Party, passed through the parliament. In the 2016 election, there was support from the government, from Labor and the Greens for this change. And despite the Labor Party now complaining about the measure, they have no plans to do anything about it. Now, I'm not aware of Mr Gangel's full circumstances, but if the honourable member wishes to raise them with me or with the minister, we can certainly look into them. But the changes only affect individuals with significant levels of assets other than the family home, and I'm sure the honourable member is aware of that. Now, with an ageing population and significant and growing pressure on the budget, the expectation is that people will draw down on their assets to support themselves in retirement where they can. So pensioners would have to draw down a maximum of about 1.8% of their assets to make up for the loss of their part pension. Now, we're working hard to give Australians greater choice in aged care, with funding growing each and every year. The minister announced a very significant reform this week, increasing choice in home care, which puts funding in the hands of consumers for the first time. It gives more people more control over the delivery of their home care services, allowing them to choose the best service provider for their needs. So we are grateful for the contribution older Australians have made to our country throughout their lives, and we will always work and always have worked to ensure older Australians are treated with dignity and with respect.